Fed Chairman Powell breaks the stock market with his unprecedented announcement. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. Joe Warbeck coming at you. And just this week, after inflation came down at a record pace, Fed Chairman Powell held a press conference and he said something we have not ever heard him say before. Take a listen.
Good afternoon. Before I go into the details of today's meeting, I'd like to underscore for the American people that we understand the hardship that high inflation is causing and that we are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy doesn't work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
And you can tell that this is completely different than his meeting he had in November. Watch this.
My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. We have both the tools that we need and the resolve it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
And clearly, this has no similarities to the meeting he had back in September.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. We have both the tools we need and the resolve that it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
Nor is it any way, shape, or form even close to the announcement that he made in July.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down, and we're moving expeditiously to do so. We have both the tools we need and the resolve it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. The economy and the country have been through a lot over the past 2.5 years and have proved resilient. It is essential that we bring inflation down to our 2% goal if we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
But yet, the stock market is shocked that he is coming out and saying that he will continue to raise interest rates until inflation gets to 2%. It's what he's going to do. There for a while, he was raising rates at 0.75%, and this time he raised rates at 0.5%. And the stock market went wild over this because, shocking, they're concerned he might cause a recession, and they're trying to price this in ahead of time. I feel like a broken record. I feel like I'm saying the same thing week after week after week on this channel, and I apologize. But it is driving me insane that markets are shocked that he is going to continue to raise interest rates as long as inflation is above 6-7%, because unless my math is off, I believe 7% is greater than 2%. So here's what's going to happen. At the next Fed meeting, if inflation has not dropped to 2%, he's going to raise rates again. And then at the following Fed meeting, if rates haven't come down to 2%, he might raise rates again. And he's not going to lower rates until inflation drops to 2%. So anybody out there, anybody who's in charge of these markets, anybody who hasn't heard it, Powell is going to continue to raise rates until inflation goes away. He doesn't care if it increases unemployment. He doesn't care if it slows down consumer spending. He doesn't care if it creates a recession. The Fed really only has two jobs: keep inflation low and keep unemployment at levels that are acceptable to keep inflation low. That's it. That's the only reason they exist. They don't care if the markets go up. They don't care if the markets go down. They don't care if you lose your job, as long as it's good for the country as a whole. And you could hear that in those four completely different statements. I mean, I watch these every time he has a press conference, and I feel like I could just read along with what he is going to announce. He's going to say it. It's there. Markets have to respond. Markets have to understand it's going to happen. We're going to have increased interest rates. And I still believe, even though over the last 2 days since the announcement, the market has reacted negatively, in the last 3 or 4 times, the exact same thing has happened. The market reacted negatively for a few days up to a week after the announcements, and then the markets went up. I still feel good about the markets going back up again. I still believe we'll have a recession next year and it won't be a bad one. I think the year could still end up nice. I don't believe we're going to be positive. NASDAQ's still down 30. The S&P 500 is nearing bear territory, and the Dow Jones is the only index that has not crossed back over into correction territory. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. On the positive side, inflation was reduced. We hit as high as 9%. It's now down to 7.1%. And I feel that next month it'll come down even further, which could lead Powell to not have a 0.5% rate increase, but maybe a 0.25%. And maybe that's what it's going to take for the stock market to say things are okay. I hope you all have a great end of 2022. If you haven't done this, make sure if you have any cash sitting around in a money market account, sitting around in a savings account, and you have not made your 2022 Roth IRA contribution, do it now. Move that money out of your checking account, out of your savings account, throw it into a Roth IRA, because if you need that money back, you can get a hold of it with no penalty. Now remember, you do have to have earned income in 2022 up to whatever amount that you contribute, but make sure this money isn't sitting around in taxable accounts. Get it tax-free. Do it now because the clock is ticking. As always, check out some of my other videos. Subscribe if you want to see future content like that. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you next week.